So after that was worship time, and because I journaled all this almost right afterwards, and so that's why I'm remembering most of this. This is the awkward worship day I was talking about. Okay, so during worship, I went a little crazy. It was good. God is so good. I prayed with 3 people. It was good. God is so good. The first girl was, I had taken out, I have Rose of Sharon oil, and I put it on my hands, and it's not my favorite smell-wise, but it represents the beauty of the bride. And as soon as I put it on my hands, I saw this girl, and I just saw her, and I was just like, whoa, you literally are the beauty of the bride. And it was awesome. And so I went up and anointed and prayed for her and told her that, and it was cool, nothing big. And then the second girl, I was dancing some more, kind of just going crazy and like weeping and laughing because, God just did something extremely awesome for me. And I just lost my journal entry. Okay, and I prayed with this one girl who was kneeling down, but it was really awkward for me to go up to her because she was kneeling in prayer, and I just kept getting this thought to go up to her and kneel in front of her and tell her to look at me and see the beauty in me. And I was just like, that's awkward to say that to someone, that they have to look at me to see beauty. What? And so I finally did it, and it was awkward. I made her look at me. We prayed for a while, and I just kept getting that, like, God was calling her intensely beautiful and wonderful. And a little later, during the worship service, after I'd left, she came up to me, and we prayed off, like, the shame, because people had called her shameful and prideful whenever she felt beautiful, so she felt like she couldn't feel that way because of those, and so she had ended up getting shame and forms of false humiliation or false humility, which is a form of pride. And so we prayed those things off, and then I gave her a spinning hug, and it was good. Yeah, God's good. Okay, so this is the awkward part though. Oh, my hair. I should have been looking at this. So I was dancing and I was spinning around. I don't know how detailed I want to get because I might become friends with this guy sometime, on Facebook, and that'd be awkward if he saw this. But I guess now he'll know how awkward I felt. So I saw this guy, and it popped into my head, go hold his hand. And anybody who knows me knows I am not like a touchy person with guys, especially. And I've never held a guy's hand except in prayer, this would be in prayer, but not like. It's always been when everyone's holding hands or when the preacher says to hold the hand next to you, and no one said that, so I was not about to go touch his hand. But I really felt like God told me to, so after a bit, I did. That
would have been bad.
That could have been really bad.
I would have no eye.
Yeah, just stick it in there. Okay, awesome.
Thank
you. Yeah.
We're doing haircuts if you want to get in line.
Ooh, I might. Haircuts, woohoo! Yeah, I could go some shorterness. Okay, anyways, so I went up to this guy. Actually, I danced because I was like up here, and he was kind of like back here-ish kind of thing. And so I danced my way like to here. And then I went back and forth because I couldn't get myself to go to him. And then I was like here. And then I stood next to him awkwardly for a little bit. And finally I just went, hey, you. I'm like, can I hold your hand? And he just looked at me, and I was like, I really feel like I'm supposed to hold your hand. And so I grabbed his hand, or he let me grab his hand, and started praying. And then I started like doing this whole thing while praying, and I'm just thinking to myself, what am I doing? I feel so stupid and so awkward, and I don't even know what I'm supposed to be praying. I'm just holding this guy's hand. I'm like, ah. And then I heard God say, grab his other hand. And I glance at the guy, and his other hand's in his pocket. And I'm like, how am I supposed to grab his other hand? And I'm like, what? Do you want me to hold his other hand? I can ask him to take it out and whatever. He's like, no, don't hold his other hand. So I was like, okay. So here's his pocket, or here's his hand in the pocket, right? I take my hand, and I like go like this with his hand. clipped it up between my fingers. Awkward, right? And so he looks at me and he kind of like goes to like hold my hand like I did the other one. I was like, ah. And so I ended up taking his hand and like pushing it like palm against palm. So here's one hand I'm holding and the other one I'm going like this. And I'm like this far away from him, and his face. Awkward for me, way too close. Not what I wanted to do at all. Way too like intimate feeling, even though it wasn't like that kind of intimate feeling. But just, I'm totally overdoing it in my own head, going, God, what are you wanting me to do? So I'm at this point, and I'm like, now what? Now what, God? Now what? I feel awkward, and I have no idea what I'm doing, and now what? And so all of a sudden he started praying through me, and I'm pretty sure it was God. I just started praying, and I think it was good. And it made more sense. I'm not going to share that portion, but it made more sense why I did what I did, and I don't know if I'm still not on right. Like I don't know if it was exactly still right on or anything, because the guy did not have any expression on his face. He was just kind of like, like no expression. But I have no idea what was happening on the inside. And at one point I like reaffirmed him as a man, and so I'm like screaming, and not screaming, but I'm like in his face going, "You are a man," or like in his ear sort of thing. His face is like right here, and so I'm like, I'm like, "You are a man, you are a godly man," and that's really awkward. Not really saying that, but just being that close to his face, yelling at him. uh, but I had to yell because it was loud in there, and so, and finally I just looked and like I stopped and I was like, okay, I don't know why I said any of that. I don't know if any of that's right or what, but yeah, I did it because I thought God told me to do it. So I hope you're not mad at me, sort of thing. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and he just looked at me and he was like, I received that, and I was just like, okay, bye. And so, I don't know, I just was like, okay, and I went back, and then I just felt this awesome freedom, because I obeyed, even though it was really awkward and embarrassing for me. And then they had this whole, like, worship, which was crazy. It was just, dancing with Jesus and laughing and being childlike is great, just saying. That's what I wrote. It was awesome. And then, side note, okay, so right after worship, I just got this thought in my head, and I want to share this because I think it's epic, okay? A lot of girls complain, and this is for the women out there, godly women. A lot of us complain about how there's a lack of godly guys, real men, We're always complaining about how they're not mature, how they're whatever. But there are plenty of them. I've been looking around and seeing, and it's not just because it's here, but thinking about the people that I've run into and people back home and realizing, and I'm sorry, man, if I've ever said this, especially in front of you, that we want more godly men, as though you aren't enough, because there are plenty of men who long to be men and godly guys. We just need to be, as women, willing to bring it out of them to help them become that, instead of constantly speaking into them and speaking about how we need somebody to, like how we need men to rise up and stand up, and we're saying that to their faces as though they're not, instead of saying, men, you are standing up. Instead of speaking out truth to them, we're telling them that what they're doing isn't enough, and that they aren't enough, and that we want someone else to come in. And how is that going to get them to want to stand up? Yeah, you'll get the few guys that are like, tell me I can't do something, and get up and stand up. But a lot of them, it's just going to deflate them. And so we as women really need to stand up and be like, you are godly men. Yeah, I think that's epic. And so I'm going to try to keep doing that. And so all you godly men out there, if I ever say anything that goes against what I just said, like making you feel as though you are not what God wants for us, that you are not what you're supposed to be. I mean, yeah, we're all growing. I mean, we all can mature and grow more, and I'm not going to say you guys are there yet, but if I'm making you feel as though you can't even be there, please tell me otherwise. Tell me to shut up. Tell me to fix the way I'm talking. So anyways, that was that worship. So we've gotten, after 10 minutes, through worship on Thursday. Ray Hughes spoke again, and that was a lot better. That one was a lot more easier to understand. I recorded that though and took some notes, and it was good stuff. I won't get into that because I spent so much time on worship. Then I went to sculpting class again, and that was fun because we played with clay a little bit and made stuff to represent other people, and we did prophetic portraits, which is where you pray with someone and then you draw a picture that you think belongs to them. And this is what the person drew for me. It's a little sun and a rainbow and a shield that's a balloon and a crown. And the coolest part though is the shield that's a balloon. Like that totally fits me because I've been really feeling ever since I started dancing in worship when I was like 13, 12, 13, 14, I don't remember. I've had people tell me that like I've got a warrior dance, and I'm like, yeah, it's totally me. But I've also been feeling like I'm supposed to be a child, and have fun. And there's like this weird, I'm like, how do warrior and goofy funness? What? And it's cool because look it's a balloon which represents fun, and it's a shield which represents warrior. And on that shield is love, hope, thankfulness, and joy, which I think are the things that I want most. And faith should be in there, but hope kind of goes with faith, I think. And that also means I'm royal. But I already knew that. So that was pretty cool. And after that, sculpting class, I was good with mine too, and I was pumped that mine was good. Anyways, the picture I drew for someone else. Then we went to breakthrough art, and that's cool. I'm just going to show you the picture. If you want to know what it represents, talk to me later. This is the picture. Right there. Awesome. I know I'm so good, right? Stick figure, man. Yeah. But it was really good. Trisha does that one, and it was awesome. And I have some notes from her as well. Basically, that whole thing was instead of asking or like looking at where we are, we need to look what breakthrough looks like. We need to start drawing and seeing the vision of what our breakthrough looks like, not focusing on our pit of despair right now, but what it looks like being out of the pit of despair. And that was really cool. And so this is what this picture is, basically the breakthrough of whatever the picture means, but you can ask me about that later. Keep this interactive here. Okay. And Thursday was also Waterworks Park, so we went to the water park here, and that was fun and goofy and great, and went home and slept. Yeah. Now for Friday, and then today, and we're caught up. Yeah. Okay.